I'm Jim from Come Play With Us, and in this video I am going to be playing Vantage. This is the new open world adventure game from Stonemaier Games. Plays 1 to 6 players in about 2 hours, give or take, depending on how your game goes. As usual, I will not do a full playthrough of it. Well, I'll try to do a full playthrough, but I like to time box my videos at about an hour and a half. So full playthrough if we can get it in under an hour and a half. If not, that's where I'll be time boxing it. But by then you'll get a good general view of how this game is played and how it works. The other big thing I need to mention is there is going to be spoilers. I cannot demonstrate this game without there being spoilers for the game. There's just no way. There's no test scenario or anything like that. It's you just walk around and do stuff and you see stuff. There's like a crazy amount of content in this game, however, so I'll be spoiling not too much stuff. Especially since I'm time boxing it, and I'll probably play a little haphazardly to make the video shorter and not spoil as much stuff, but still demonstrate how the game works and that kind of thing. Okay, so I've got here most of this, kind of the beginning setup here. We all start on this first location here. So what this game is we've landed on this planet and we're gonna have a mission that we have to do. Now, in a solo game, you're just playing one character. In a cooperative game, you can play up to 6 people, and the interesting thing about this game is you have a first-person perspective on the map. So in the multiplayer game, you're gonna have these little card stands that I won't put a real card in here, but you'll kind of slot your cards into, and that will just face you and not everybody else. And that way, only you get to see the location you're at, and you can describe it to the other players, but you cannot show them what's on your card. And each of the players around the board are going to be landing on a different place on the planet, so you don't really kind of know where you are, and then you kind of got to build your view of the world independently and kind of explain it to each other and that kind of thing, which would make the game really interesting for co-op play. So that's the kind of thing you're going to miss out on with the solo play, where you're just playing by yourself and you just have your view of the planet, so you're not getting the help of other people around the table. But it's still a pretty interesting game. So okay, so as you can see, it's pretty quick and easy to set up the basics here, and then you start the game on this first location, and you just kind of go step by step here until you start the game. So the first step here says, weeks after receiving a mysterious signal from the traveler, the ship arrives in orbit of an uncharted planet. Create the total challenge dice pool using 8 dice plus 2 per player. I've done that already, so we've got 10 dice in the challenge pool at the top there. And next step is each player gains a different skill. Select or randomize and its matching character card, and it'll give you the numbers here. So the different skills here there are in the game. Hang on, let me grab. So you have these big stack of storybooks here, and each of these storybooks corresponds to one of the skills in the game. And the really nice thing is, on the back of these books is a full turn reference and everything, plus it tells you what all the skills and kind of iconography and all that kind of stuff is. So that is awesome, because that means I think there's 6 skills in the game, 6 players, 6 player aids. How about that? Somebody included the full count of player aids in the game. That is awesome. So the different skills here that we can see here, you've got the blue one, which is move, the green one, which is help, purple one, which is look, yellow one, which is take, orange is engage, and red is overpower. I think I'm going to go with the take one for this game. One of the things you need to do in this game is kind of build up your tableau, and take is kind of one of the main things that helps you with that. The other ones can as well, like look and help, but take is the main one. So I think I'm going to do the yellow one. So that means I need card 1439. And the cards, I'm going to keep this off camera, but just to show you how it's organized. So you've got the locations here all in order, and then you've got the kind of the other cards that go in your tableau and stuff. And it's got a nice little reference on the top here, very well organized, that shows you the counts, and plus some index cards. So, and that just comes like that. So all you have to do when you get this game, you just they have paper kind of bands around the set. So you just pull the paper bands or off and stuff it back in the box, and you're ready to go. So really awesome how quickly it is to get going with this game from purchase. And I like the fact that nothing's cellophane wrapped. I really beyond being environmentally friendly, I just find it much easier to have the paper bands than trying. I always have a problem getting all that plastic off. Really annoying, but the paper bands are really nice. I like how easy it is to get the cards out of those. Okay, so I need to get 1439 is what I'm looking for. Okay, so here's 1439. This is my character. I guess, like I guess it doesn't really say that you should match the character color to the character you take, like your piece's color. You probably should. Yeah, I'm just playing blue. I always play blue, so I'm not matching, but I'm sure that's fine. So this is my character here. And so how you read these things, you'll have some actions that you can do on your character card. We'll go over this later, but these are dice placement spots, so these kind of help you mitigate the dice rolls that you're going to be doing. And then you have a when placed ability, which gives you kind of to these they call these boost cubes, and you can spend those to do an ability. So this character, you can spend 2 cubes to get one of these tokens, one of the action resource token or action tokens that help you with oh no, sorry, is that a so you can pay 2 boost cubes here to either get $1 or a blue one of these tokens. So these are tokens you can spend to reduce the cost of doing certain actions, the related action. And then I've got this other ability here that says I can spend 1 boost token to reroll one of my characters, one of my challenge dice, and gain the yellow token if the result is unchanged, or transfer 1 reserved card into your grid. I'll go over what all that stuff means later, but basically, so that's my character card. So I'm going to get 2 boost tokens when it comes into my tableau, and the boost tokens go in this little grid here. So I'll put this to the side for now, and so that's the 2 tokens I start with. Okay, so that's my character card. So and you also get the skill token, so that's the other thing related to. So I'll get one of these tokens and the card. Okay, that's what that means. And then each player sets their trackers. So I got the 3 trackers here matching their character color, and then there's kind of 4 levels there: brazen, daring, practical, and cautious. The rules recommend doing daring your first game, so I'll be playing the daring, so I've got these set at 4 to start. And then it says the first player, which is me because I'm playing solo, gains 2 skills at random and places the matching mission in the center. They may re-roll pairs to get an easier mission. So to see which ones you get, you're going to roll these dice here. So which will give me 2 more of those skill tokens. So here I got doubles. It says I can re-roll doubles to get an easier one, but yeah, I'll go for hard. We want to fail, right? So I can get the video done in time. Okay, so I got 2 green tokens. 2 green tokens here. And then you check this chart, and you'll see on this chart here that I go to 1581 is the mission we're going to get. So this is the mission. We've got to find a cure for blight that plagues your world. Have the antidote card in a grid or reserve. If you do, you either gain Destiny 1604, place it in the center, or end the game in a mission victory. So there's 3 ways to win. You can win with a Destiny victory, you can win with a mission victory, or you can have an epic victory where you do both. Yeah, so this is a difficult mission. I mean, my last mission that wasn't difficult was still pretty difficult. So I think they're all kind of difficult. So your mission goes here. So that's the mission. And when you're playing co-op, everybody is is working on the same mission together. And okay, so that's the that's a mission, and then we're all gonna go to location 001, which is on the back of another book. So that's this book here. So we'll finish the setup. So this one says the ship malfunctions. You have mere seconds to escape. So each player gains a different skill. Select or randomize places the matching location in their location holder and simultaneously follows the instruction on that card. So let's just do a random one. Okay, so that's the orange skill. So I'm going to go to 004. I'm going to get an orange skill token, and I'm going to go to start on 004. And like I said, normally this would get slotted into one of those holders and sit for it, but I'm going to play these flat in front of me since they're not playing with any other players. Or I'll just hold it up to the camera. Okay, so this is where I start. So your escape pod seals tight, ejecting towards the planet in a completely different direction from the others. Gain 2 random skills and crash onto the matching location. You may re-roll pairs to get an easier location. Keep this card in your holder to obscure the backs of your new location and future locations you visit. So this will just, it's kind of a mask, whatever's on the back. So we're doing another 2 resources here. So I've got red and purple. So we got red and purple, and I'll look on the grid here for red and purple. So I'm starting at 428. Okay, and then that would go on the back and like that, and you would slot that in. Okay, so 428, this is my starting location. So I've got the cliffside shallows house a sea garden of bulbous plants. Okay, so let's get this out of the way. Done with this. Put that to the side. Okay, so how do you read these location cards? So that, they'll have a pretty picture of where you are. Have a description. So this says cliffside shallows house a sea garden of bulbous plants. So it's going to be a little clue. What's there. And they'll give you a list of actions you can do. And then in the top here, it'll show you some directions where you can go. So the ones with numbers, that's pretty easy. If you decide to move, you just grab that location and you move to that location based on that number. These star ones, you have to look in a book. So you're going to have, this is a little confusing. You have 2 blue books. Okay, so we got, so this can be confusing. It's in the rules, it tells you. So you've got a move storybook, okay, but that does not correspond to the move action here. That corresponds to this move on the card, okay? So when you're doing this, so if I'm doing dive, I'm going to go to the blue storybook. I'm going to look up the location number, which in this case is 428, in the blue storybook, and that will tell me what happens when I dive. But if I move to one of these star locations, okay, if I'm moving to a star location, I look in the depart storybook, okay, and it's got the symbol, the same symbol on it here, that kind of star with a move in the middle. So that's the kind of one little nuance there. There's kind of 2 storybooks for moving. Can be a little bit confusing. But otherwise, yeah, you're going to pick one of these actions you can pick one of these actions on here and do it. Once you do an action on a location, you cannot do any more of these actions. So that's kind of one of the got-yous in here. You only get to do one thing at a location ever in the game until your next game. Okay, so how does this game work? Well, okay, so on the back of like I said, on the back of every storybook, you've got the kind of a nice player aid for everything. So you're going to choose one action, and you'll always succeed when you perform an action. And what you're trying to do is avoid payment because you only got 4 of each of these things. So if any of these things reaches 0, you're going to go into the take storybook and read the entry there, and you'll probably lose. Okay, not necessarily, but I think I played 1 game of this so far, and when I got the time when went down to 0 and I lost. I think you could have kept going or something like that. I kind of gave you a choice, but Basically, you lose if any of those get to 0. So trying not to spend. You're trying not to spend any of those resources if you can. That's what you're going to try and avoid. That's but you're always succeeding. So it's not kind of like a choose your own adventure that way. The choose part is in the kind of action you're choosing. You'll always succeed at whatever action you do. You just might pay too much for it. Okay, so the 3 things you can do, the 3 one actions you can do. So on your turn, you do 1 action. So you can either do one of those location actions, like I said, you can do 1 per card or location card. The second thing you can do is card action. So that, like I showed you, I got my character card here. So I can do one of the, I've got 3 actions on my character card I can do. So that's one of the things I can do. My mission card here has 4 actions on it. So I can do one of these mission card actions. So those are the card actions. And the third thing I can do is the depart action, like I said, and that's related. Use the depart storybook when you're doing the stars in the directions. So you can move one of the 4 cardinal directions. So those are the only 3 things you can do on your turn. So it's pretty simple. So what we're going to do next, so we're going to pick what we're going to do. So, I kind of like, I did this a little late in my last game, but I think a good starting move, being that we're trying to complete this mission, is to do a research the mission, see if there's anything we can find about this mission. So I'm going to take a card action as my first on my first turn. Okay, so that's a research action. That's a purple action. Now, when you're doing those actions, you don't know how much it's going to cost. So once you pick an action and say you're going to do it, you have to do it no matter what the cost, and then you can kind of decide how you're going to pay for those things. So playing solo, you're just going to grab the related storybook to the action. That's called a look action. Even though it says research, the type of action is a look. So you're going to look, you're going to grab the purple book, and then I'm going to read. I'm going to find 1581, which is the card number in here, and I'm going to read the little blurb beside 1581. And the first thing, so if you're playing this with multiple players or even by yourself, you're just looking at the bolded part and not the story part here. So this says to research, which means that's going to be the number of dice I have to roll. And then what I'm doing is in bold here. So research how you can complete the mission. This action can be performed at most once per game. So to do this action, the cost is to roll 2 dice. So you gather your cost or your challenge dice for this. Now, I have a choice here. So it costs 2, but I have a purple action token here, and I can use that to if I spend that, then I can roll 1 less dice. For every one of those tokens you spend, you roll 1 less die. So I might as well do that. So I might as well spend my token so that I only have to roll 1 challenge die for this. And then the challenge die will tell me what I have to pay to do the action. Okay, so this means nothing. That's a blank, okay? So if it wasn't blank, I would be able to slot this die on my card if I had die slots. So in my character card, I start with 2 die slots. Okay, so how you read these things, so you'll see there's a symbol in the top left of this die slot here that corresponds to one of the actions. That action is the take action. It's related to the my type of character. So that means when I'm doing a take type action, the yellow action type, I can slot a die here. I'm doing the purple one, which is the look type action, so I can't slot a die here. And the way this one works, if you're playing a multiplayer game, the lightning symbol above one of these dice slots means any player can use this dice slot, not just myself. Playing solo, so it doesn't really matter. But this has the time symbol, so that means if I rolled that's one of the symbols on the die. So that means if I rolled the time symbol, I could slot that there. Okay, because I rolled the null, it doesn't matter. That's basically a free. I got no penalty. Any die that you don't slot somewhere goes into your penalty pool here, and then you would pay the penalty. There's no penalty, so I don't pay any penalty there. So that's how you do a challenge. Okay, so now I would just read, now that I've paid for that challenge, now I just read what the blurb says. So it says, the blight has ravaged your world, destroying millions of lives. You have hope for an antidote in this new world. Gain the apothecary. So I've gained something related to the mission. So that's 1268 is the card for that. Card for this mission I got here. I got this, got an apothecary. So it says to structure commerce. Okay, so I got a boost cube when I place it, and whenever you get a when placed boost cube, it goes on the card itself. If you get a cube from like kind of a location, it will go on your character card. But otherwise, usually to get the boost cubes on the other cards, you have to do an action on that card to do that. And this says, use this structure only while you're on its location of origin. Oh, okay, so does that mean, so that means, I'm guessing that means it's tied to this location 428. Okay, so that's interesting. And then it has a whole bunch of actions here. Okay, so I will throw that goes in my tableau, and then so that's interesting. I've not run into something like that before. Now in the Book of Secrets, there's a glossary starting on page 10. And they say don't go through the glossary before you play. Just go through the glossary when you get something new. So this is kind of a new thing that I haven't encountered. So when you get something like that, you can kind of look it up in the glossary to see. Then there's a bunch of extra rules there that will tell you kind of like how those things work. So here's the glossary. So you can see there is a blurb about structures here. So that's a structure. I haven't seen that before. So let's see what structures do. So structures are horizontal cards kept in your supply. You, any player, not just the player who created the structure, may only perform actions on the structure when you are on its location of origin, which you can remember by placing the structure card on top of its location card. We recommend leaving this location on the table rather than returning it to the box when a player departs. Unless an action states otherwise, there is no limit to the number of times you can perform each structure action. Okay, so that's interesting. So normally when you move away from a location, you throw it back in the box. So what we're going to do with this one is we'll just slot it under that structure, and we can come back to this structure, if we can get back to this location. Now, the other interesting thing about this game is because you're not building a map with these cards, you're just doing a first-person perspective. You kind of got to remember where you've been and how to get back there. So you can take notes. I guess you could draw a map. But yeah, that's kind of an important thing, is that you're just kind of wandering around. There's nothing mechanically in the game to help you remember where you've been and how to get back there. You gotta do that yourself. I'm just going to try to memorize it for this video, and you'll see how bad my memory is. Probably wander around in circles. Okay. Yeah, so I haven't actually done anything on this location yet. So I've just researched the mission, and I found this apothecary, and I can do all these actions as many times as I want. So what do we got on here? Let's take a closer look at this card. So looks like we can balance here, study, sell, brew, acquire, or duel. So so that's interesting. So we got to find a cure. So I probably want to be acquiring stuff. I'm gonna have to brew the cure here, obviously. So there's a brew thing. Maybe I want to try the acquire action on here. So let's try the acquire action and see if there's anything to acquire at the apothecary that will help me find the cure. To do that, back to my books. I need my yellow book. That's a yellow action. So look up 1268. Okay, so 1268. This is a 2-cost. Acquire the resources necessary to make medicine. Okay, so it's going to cost 2. So again, I've got a token here, so I'll spend my token so that I only have to roll 1 die. So let's roll my 1 die. Okay, this time I got a heart. Okay, so I am doing my take action here. So I can slot this heart here in my take action slot. And then I don't have to take the heart penalty, which is hard as I think that's your like kind of health or endurance. Okay, 1268. So finish the challenge part. So now I'm going to gain 1 boost on the structure. Okay, so I gained a boost on here. Don't know what that did because there's nothing on here that spent it. So that must have to do one of the other actions on here to use these boost things. So maybe I should try. Okay, so that's the end of my turn. Let's say, so in a 1-player game, you just kind of keep doing things is the way it goes. Obviously, if you're playing with more players, then you would turns around the table. But yeah, so I'll just keep taking actions here. So let's try a study at the apothecary then. So I'm gonna go back to the purple book here. Okay, so studying, it's gonna cost me 2. Study the art of brewing medicine. So I've got to pay 2. So I've got no purple tokens here to use. So I gotta straight up pay for both of these, depending on what I roll. So let's see what I get this time. Okay, so now I got a time and this one. So I'll talk about this one in a second, but time, again, I've got a time slot on my character card, so that can just get slotted there. And the way this one works, it's also like the null, but the null one goes into the penalty section. These ones returned to your challenge dice pool. Now you're gonna ask, why is there a difference between those two? Like they seem to kind of do similar things. So what these do is they kind of clog up your dice pool because now you can see that all the slots that I have available to me at the moment are taken, right? So I've got both dice slots there taken. Actually, I think I'm going to move this up here because I'm going to have to create my tableau here and get it all in shot eventually. So the only way that these are going to come off the card is when this pool runs out of dice. And then I need to pull more dice, then the dice pool will refresh and these will come up. So those results actually keep you from being able to refresh your dice or open up your slots. So that's kind of what they do. Okay, so back to our studying. So 1268. Okay, so we're gonna gain ability 1476. Okay, well, I got my first card for my tableau here. Okay, so this is an ability. So it's got a couple of dice slots here. To use this dice slot, I have to pay 2 boost. And if I use this dice slot, I gain a boost. Okay. Now you also notice there's no, when placed, it doesn't start with any boost tokens on it. And it's got 2 actions here. So it's got this boost action here where I pay 2 boost tokens to get a green action token there. Or I can take this action, which is a green 3-cost action to brew. So I gain the result of a brew action. If the action was on a flora in your grid, keep that flora instead of losing it. So flora is something I'll find in the mod. So it looks like I'm gonna have to look for some flora, but there is a brew. Yeah, so this looks like, yeah, so I've got to go find some flora and get it in my grid by the looks of it. I think that's what I'm doing here. Now I can place this, I've got a 9-card grid here, so I can place this anywhere here, so I'll just put it here. And so that's the first card in my grid, and now you'll see I have extra dice slots now to slot things in. Cool, so it looks like we're looking for flora. So, I mean, so on my starting location here, we do have these bulbous plants. which I can smell probably or dive for. So maybe you want to dive for those bulbous plants or craft them. So there's lots of interesting things. So, or consume. So I probably don't want to consume. Oh, but I might want to pluck them. Yeah, because I need to get some flora. So maybe what I want to do in this location is pluck the plants. Either pluck them or craft them. That's kind of interesting. But let's try plucking them and see if that gives me the plants. Okay, so that's a red action. So the red storybook, and looking at my location, which is 428. Okay, so that's a 4-cost pluck action. So that's pluck a flower. So I got to roll 4 dice. I do have a red token, so that can bring my cost down to 3 dice. So let's roll 3 dice, see what we get. Okay, so this one is a freebie. So I've got 2 here I need to get rid of. So I've got 2 slots, but both of these slots here, you'll see they say brew on them. So I can only use these slots when I'm doing a brew action. So either this brew action or there's the brew action on the apothecary. So there's 2 different brew actions. So I can't slot these on that card. My other dice slots are... So I'm just going to have to eat these ones. So that's a star and a time. So those are both going to move down. Okay. Okay, but I did my pluck action. Okay, so you unearth the vegetation, shaking water and dirt from the roots. A nearby sentient sees what you've done and smites you. Gain flora 1066 and curse 1385. So I did get my flora, but I also got cursed. Okay, so here's the flora I got. So I got purple flora, sea moon. Oh, so this dice slot here, see it has the circles. That's what do they call that? The composition. So you'll see this symbol on locations. It's not on the location I'm on right now, but you'll see it on locations, and this means if I'm doing a challenge on a location that is of that composition, then I can slot a die here. This thing has its own composition, which is that symbol. And it looks like it has 2 actions. I can craft or consume it with these 2 actions. There's no when played, and it has a brew action. So if I brew it, I can gain item 863 replacing this card, unless I pay. So that's interesting. So I can brew this, but I probably want to brew it with my brew card. Okay, so let's put the flora there. Okay, so we got a way to brew. Got some flora, so you might want to start trying to do the brew, but I do have to get the curse too. So 1385 curse. Okay, so I got this curse. All players during that composition interactions, I'm gonna lose a boost from my character for each unplaced that symbol on the die there. This is a water curse. And I can't reserve this card. So I guess this goes in my... This is the first time I curse. So again, we can go to the glossary. I'm guessing that probably has to go into my tableau. Let's move this up a little bit further here. So let's go back to the glossary and see what it says about curses. Curses, I'm guessing you are forced to... They probably take up a spot here. Yeah, so it is in the glossary here. So it says, when caught doing something devious by a nearby sentient, sometimes out of view on an adjacent location, it is possible you will gain a curse card. If so, you must place it in your grid. If your grid is full, you may not reserve the curse. Instead, reserve a non-character card to make room. Each curse adds a penalty to unplaced setback challenge dice results. When any player interacts with an action on a location or other card with the corresponding composition icon, setback results are not equivalent to time, morale, and health results on challenge dice for the purposes of placing setback dice on grid card slots, even when the penalty for not placing a specific setback result is to lose time, morale, or health. Okay, so we are cursed. That's not going to help me cure the blight. Okay, I haven't even left the location yet, so this is a much different adventure than the first one I had. Okay, so I probably want to try this brew action. I mean, I got 2 brew actions, but I'll probably try this one. Now I have 2 tokens here, 2 green tokens, and it's a 3 cost for this brew. Oh, cool. So this actually, yeah, okay. So I think I understand how this is. So I'll pay those 2. I gotta roll 1 die. Of course, I got a heart. Now I am doing a brew action, so I can slot this here, and that will give me a boost token on here. So that is good. Okay, and then so it says that I gain the result of a brew action, and if it's on a flora in my grid, then I keep that flora instead of losing it. So that means I get the result of this, which says game item 863, replacing this item card, but I don't replace this item card. I get to keep it. So I get item 863. Okay, so that gives me extract. It's a beverage, beverage, extract. And then when I place this in my grid, I get 3 boosts. And when those are empty, I lose the card. Okay, and then to use the dice slots on there, I have to pay one of these boost tokens. And I can use this dice slot when I'm doing purple actions, which are the look actions, or when I'm doing a scan specifically. So when it says scan, like I actually name it, then you're looking for the actual. I guess we've been doing that with the boost. I'm looking for the actual action name. What do we want to do now? So, I mean, there's a couple more actions on my mission. So let's see, there's plead and hone. Now, I don't have very many action slots left. I got a purple one here, but I've already done the researching. There's a master action on my own card. So that might do something for me. And I have an equip action as well too. Oh no, I think equip is to move stuff in and out of your tableau. Because once you fill this up, you can put extra cards in reserve and then bring them in out. And your reserve, size of your reserve, you add these, I don't know if you can see that on the camera there, but there's a little plus sign on this card. Not any of my other cards. You can hold that many cards in reserve. So right now I can only hold 1. But let's see. Yeah, I might try this hone ability because I don't know what that. A plead doesn't sound. I mean, pivot and plead don't sound very helpful, but maybe hone is what I want to do. So let's try hone. Now I've got no help with this. I have no tokens or anything. And well, I only have 3 dice left. So the good thing is if I need more than 3, I'll be able to reset my cubes. Okay, so 1581. Okay, it's a 2 test. That's not too bad. Hone your talents for the mission. This action can be performed at most once per game. Okay, so let's do the hone. Oof, not a good result. Star and a heart, and I've got nowhere to put those. You work on enhancing an ability to complete the mission. Gain ability 1476. Well, I already got that ability. So when you gain a card that you've already got, instead you get to add a boost to it. Okay, so it's not a total loss. Because I could spend those 2 to get a green token. Or I can spend that these to use this slot on the brew, so that's good. So, and I've only got 1 die left, so the stuff is going to refresh now. Yeah, I don't know if there's anything else I can do in this thing. I guess I could try brewing on the apothecary. I have not tried that. Now that I have that slot available, you know, I might try that brew there. So let's do the brew on the apothecary and see what that does. Okay, so we're gonna brew medicine. That's gonna cost us 4. Okay, so now I get to refresh. So that's one die in there, so the rest will refresh. I don't have anything that reduced the cost, so I gotta do a 4 test. Okay, let's see that. Okay, so we got 1 null, so that's fine. And then I got a star, a time, and a heart. Okay, so I've got the free, so I'm doing a brew, so I got the free one here. Definitely want to put the star there because I'm already down to 2 stars. So that gives me my 3rd cube here. And now I can spend 2 cubes, which I think I will, to add this another cube there, and then I've got the time one I can put here in my time slot. So there, I did the whole thing. Didn't have to take any penalties there. Okay, if there is 1 boost on this structure, we have 2. Gain item 868. If 2 boost, gain item 869, and if 3, we get 865. All boosts remain on this structure. Alternatively, you may create a living space within these walls. If so, this structure counts as a shelter for all relevant goals. Okay, so we've got 2 on there, so we get item 869. So I got nanotech. This is medicine. Okay, when I place this, 3 cubes on it. If empty, we lose it, so it's got 3. Okay, so that's interesting. None of this stuff is helping me find a cure, though, I don't think. Or I think it's meant to help me find a cure, but don't quite know how. So I think to get cubes on this card, I had to do the acquire. So I guess if I did acquire and did another brew, then I probably get another thing that would help me. Although, I mean, all this does is hold cubes for me. So I can do repair and green. Yeah, I mean, it's very similar to this. So I don't, I'm not sure. Well, you know what? Maybe that's what I meant to do. So let's try doing acquire again. So was the yellow book. Okay, so that one costs 2 and it gains me a boost on the card. So it costs me 2 for the yellow. I don't have a yellow token, so I'm gonna have to roll 2. Okay, so I got this one, so that one just goes back, and then I can put this star, because that's a yellow action, I can put it here. Get another cube on this card. So that is good. Oh, did I forget to do that last time? Or did I? No, I should have another, because I did. That's the second time I've added cube there, I think. I think I've used that. Maybe I haven't used that before. I think I have, but I think I should have 4 cubes there. Okay. Yeah, so now that puts a cube on here. So now we can do the brew again. Although my brew action is full up here, but I do have this up here. So I can put 1 cube up here. And yeah, and I can re-roll some dice. Because I have these, I could use these to re-roll one of my challenge dice. So maybe I want to, I think I was, should be good. Let's do the brew. Let's see what the last thing we get is. So I think that was a brew 4, if I remember correctly. 12. Yes, brew 4. Okay, not rolling the greatest this game, but okay. So I got 3. Okay, so I can throw. Yeah. So this I'm doing that action, so I can spend. I guess I'll put the star here. Oh, but I have to spend a cube to do that. No, that's fine. Spend a cube to do that. And then I got a heart and a time that I don't really have anywhere I can put these. So let's take those. It's kind of expensive, but I have 3 cubes on the apothecary, so let's see. I'm assuming I'm going to get a good item out of this. Okay, so I get 865. Okay, I got more medicine. So this is antidote. Okay, so I get 3 in one placed. Have the antidote card in a grid or reserve. If you do, either gain Destiny 1604, place it in the center, or end the game in a mission victory. So I've got the antidote. Okay, so I've got the antidote. So I guess I've completed the mission of the game. So I could end the game right here, or I could try to. Might as well go for the Destiny too. So I'd go for the epic victory. So let's just go for the. I mean, we're pretty quickly here. Got this mission done. So let's do Destiny 1604. Let's see what that is. And I haven't even moved off the location, so that's kind of insane. But I guess that's how this mission works. You just, get the apothecary and just do the. Yeah, that's kind of interesting. Okay. Teleport back home. So that's the Destiny here. So have the teleportation spell. If you do, you may complete the Destiny by reading 1604 in the Book of Secrets. Okay. So that's my Destiny. So I got a new action on there. I got a research action on there. So, I might as well do that. Now we know we've got the antidote. So let's do the research. 1604. Okay, so it's a 2 research. How you can complete the Destiny. This action can be performed at most once per game. The last 2 dice here. Okay, so I got a null. Refresh. So I don't take any penalties really, except I don't get to refresh my dice. Okay, so teleportation blurs the line between science and magic. In this world, using a spell to bridge great distances isn't unheard of. Gain the Book of Spells for Spirit Magic, 1214, and each player gains a move. Move. Okay, so 1214. Okay, so we got the Book of Spells Spirit here. So, okay, so this when placed, every player gains a boost on any card. So, well, let's put it on the Book of Spells because that's what we're going for. So might as well put it there. And so it has a power on here that I can view page 28 of the Book of Vantages until the end of my turn. So that's if it's similar to one I've had before, that means it'll show me where I can find that spell, the teleportation spell. So maybe I'll do that. So and the boost is a free action using these boosts. Forgot to mention that. So we go to 28 in the Book of Vantages, which is this book here, which is probably going to show me a map or something. Oh, no, it's not. It shows me this page. Okay, spirit magic taps into the soul to produce an array of powerful spells. The ethereal nature of spirit magic requires you to explore the depths of who you are and how you are connected to the world. The risk of sacrificing too much of your willpower for the sake of spirit magic is that you lose a sense of reality. For all spells in this book, the boost is paid from your character. You may learn a new spell from this book at most once per viewing. Okay. Oh, and I need the teleportation one, right? That's what I was supposed to do? Teleport back. Have the teleportation spell. Okay, that's okay. That's not too hard. So I can learn this one, I guess, right? For all spells, the boost is paid from the character. Okay, so this says the most powerful spell in the spirit mage's arsenal is teleportation, the ability to temporarily free your soul entirely from its fleshy bonds and travel great distances in a single moment. Okay, I just got to spend 5 boosts. I have 4. Learn an expert to also lose a star, and then you gain the spell. Okay, so I don't have 5 boosts on my character right now, but I'm close. Okay, so I just got to get her 1 more boost on her, and of course, unfortunately, I also have to get another boost on my spell book here to be able to go back to this page to learn it. So, okay, well now at least I know what I have to do. Okay, I think we might actually leave the first location of the game, which we have not done yet. It's kind of weird. Okay, so yeah, let's do the move. So I can't do anything else here because I did something here. So it really doesn't matter what direction I move in. I need to clear this and then do a take action to be able to get another cube on here. So that's one thing I have to do. And for this one, I have to do, to get a cube on this card, I have to do a purple action and roll a time symbol on it. Yeah, so let's just wander in a direction. So let's go west, which is 139. So the cost for moving to another location is just 1 challenge die. So I've got 1 challenge die left. So roll that. And that gives me a time symbol, which I don't think I have any place to use. So that's going to cost me a time. Okay, and then when you move, you just put the, of course, this goes under the apothecary. So normally this would just go back in the box and then you would grab the next one, but I'm going to grab location 139. This slots here because that's where the apothecary is. All right, so now I'm here. A winding network of streams flows around a lore stone. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, so I need to trigger the book, so I probably want to do some studying here. So let's do the study. Or I can also commune, but you know, that doesn't get me towards my goal. I do have a token for that, of course, which would make it cheaper, but let's study. So this is a 2 cost. Study the lore stone. So, okay, so now I'm refreshing. The pool is empty, so all my dice come back. Gonna roll 2 dice. And actually hoping to roll a time symbol. So we want to roll. So with that, we got a heart and these guys. So this goes back in here. And the heart, I can put that on here. Oh, but I got paid to use that. Well, I guess I'm not saving that anymore. The only one, I guess, I don't know if I have to save that antidote anymore. But, yeah, I might as well use my beverage here. That would cost me a boost to use that. Okay, and then I do the study. You feel a surge of wisdom as you study the stone and the rune etched into it. For a brief moment, you see a vision from the not-so-distant past. This Confluence is a meeting place between leaf and water sentience. Gain 1 boost. So whenever you gain a boost that from a location, it goes on your character. So now I've got the 5 boost I need. So I'm good there. I just need to get a boost on this guy. All right, so I can't do anything else here, so I'm going to have to keep moving. I mean, I guess I could use a purple action on one of my other cards, but I don't really. I did these researches. Oh, I can. Maybe I should try a master on my character card. Let's try that. I haven't tried that yet. So my character card is number 1439. Okay, so that's a 5 cost. Ooh, maybe I shouldn't have tried this. Master some survival skills. You may perform this action at most once per game. So I gotta roll 5 dice. Well, I'm bound to roll a time on these with 5 dice, you think. But this might hurt a bit. Because I have no way to make this cheaper. Oh, but now I rolled good. Look, I rolled 4. Man, I didn't even roll a time. I rolled 3 nulls, 1 refresh, and 1 purple, or 1 heart. And I don't think I have anywhere I can put this heart. Oh, I can put a heart here if I spend... Ooh, the antidote. Don't want to overspend that. Okay, so I don't know if I should be using the antidote, but I'll use the antidote. So I didn't get a time symbol, which is what I was trying to do, but I did master something. Okay, so I master some skills that may help me to survive on the planet. Gain experience card 1458, 1 help and 1 overpower. Help is the green, overpower is the red. I do need green tokens though, because I need to keep doing... Oh no, I need purple. Purple is what I'm trying to do. Okay, so I've got experience, I guess. Okay, so no, I don't get cubes on here, but it says if full at the end of the turn, you must lose this card and gain green and red. You may then replace their character. Transfer their boost with... Okay. So I'm trying to fill this up. That's interesting. All right, now the other thing is now I've filled this grid. So the first time a player has a full grid, we gain Destiny 1705. Okay, so 1705 is this one here. Survive until help arrives. Whenever a player ends their turn, they may add 1 token here. If they do, they gain a boost on their character. The game ends if there are 6 tokens here. And then we read blah, blah, blah in the Book of Secrets. Oh, I can have multiple destinies. Okay, so we'll have... So I guess we have multiple destinies here. So both of those. But I'm going for this one. I've almost got it. So... okay, so now I'm kind of in the point where I'd have to start using reserve cards. I can only hold 1, I think. Because my character allows me to hold 1, and none of my other cards let me hold 1. Okay, I gotta keep moving because I will need to be able to do a purple action, and I can't do another purple action here, so I will move. So let's just keep going west. I'm gonna go to 138 here. I have to roll 1 challenge die. Now I do have the move. I have the move token I can use, but now I'll hang on to that. Star. Doesn't look like... Do I have anywhere I can put a star? Doesn't look like it, so I'm gonna have to take that one. Getting kind of low. But replace 139 with 138. It's actually on the back of that card. Okay, so now I'm in a huge lotus blooms in the hills near a tower. Oh, so I could do some more brewing to get stuff, but I don't think so. I'm going to do the smell because I got to do the purple. So let's do smell. 138. Hopefully they're not toxic. Smell the lotus. It's only going to cost me 1. So let's roll 1 and hope we get lucky here. Yay, I got the time. Okay. So that goes here. That will give me a cube on here. Okay, let's finish the action here. Smelling the lotus. The lotus smells a bit like coconut. Gain 1 health from the purifying pollen. You may also lose 1 curse. Nice. Curse is gone. So I'll toss that. And I gain a health. So that worked out good. Okay, now I can spend this to go back to the Book of Vantages. Page 28. 28, and I want to do the teleportation one, so I can spend 5 off my character, 5 off of there, learn expert spell. Also going to lose a star. Ooh, this is simultaneous. I don't want to lose a star, but yeah, I don't know how this is going to work. When any token reaches 0, read the mission's entry on the take storybook. But so okay, let's see. Let's get my spell 1369. So this is all hot simultaneously here. Okay, here's my teleportation spell. When I place a gain boost on each card in the column, that refills my antidote. Okay, and okay, so this, have the teleportation spell. If you do, you may complete the destiny by reading 1604 in the Book of Secrets. So let's do that. 1604. Okay, so we got, wedding the power of space gives you immediate access to the entire world, nay, the entire universe. Nothing can stop you from gathering your friends and teleporting back home before starting your next adventure. The game ends and you achieve an epic victory if you also completed the mission. Otherwise, it is impressive that you survived long enough to control your destiny, and your knowledge of the planet will benefit you in the future. Yeah, so reading the take in the storybook, it basically says if you've completed the destiny, you win. Or if you completed the mission, you win. So I completed both. So I got an epic victory. Sweet. I guess that's how you win at this game. I am a master in my second game. In my first game, I got nothing accomplished and I wandered around and did nothing. I think the mission in my first game, I was supposed to destroy a city and I never even found a city. So that's how good I am at this game. But this one, yeah, went pretty smoothly, strangely enough. Yeah, pretty interesting game. I mean, it's interesting how this can go because, you know, my first game, I wandered all over the place, caves and stuff. I found dragons, like I found a lot of stuff. In this one, I moved, you know, I finished the mission without leaving my original location, which is kind of interesting. And then I think I moved, 2 spaces away before I got the teleportation spell and completed the game. So awesome. As always, thank you for watching, and I'll talk to you next time.